Hello, 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 it's the Fat Boy back with another F1 2021 My Team Career Mode episode number 36, I believe. Yes, it's the number 36. And here we are for the Spanish Grand Prix playing at 96 AI difficulty. And one thing I have to say is that I might have to reduce the overall AI difficulty that I play with in the following races, mainly because that the AI are just getting too fast and like they're getting maxed out, so they're getting like unrealistically fast, as I would say. So probably I might be playing in lower AIs here and there. So I'll just try to consider that. And heading into the first lap here, we get a 1 minute 15.279, only P13, so not so good progress. So as you can see, how how fast the AI are getting as well. I'm really giving it my all, trying to go as fast as possible, but I'm not Yano Altmir, so I can't go 110 AI just yet. So coming out of the final corner, we have a purple sector 1. Sector 1 is quite easy to get a purple sector. Sector 2 not so much, but heading out sector 3, we get a 1 minute 14.9 and it's still P13. So you can see Carlos Sainz is also 9 tenths quicker than us. So you can see how like maxed out the AI is gonna be, especially when Carlos Sainz is 100 rated, like almost maxed out. But his overall rating is maxed out, but his individual stats are not. So you can I hope you understand that I might have to lower the AI difficulty heading into the next few races. And before we get to anywhere, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications in order not to miss any future F1 or FIFA uploads. So with that out of the way, we did lower the tire pressures for the front left because I was facing a lot of overheating, which got me a lot of understeer. So that might have been the root cause of our horrible lap compared to Sainz. So heading out the final corner with DRS, it's a 1 minute 14.699 P11, just below 1.5 tenths behind Lando Norris, sitting comfortably in P9. But heading into our second lap, heading into qualifying, we just touch the grass and we go for a huge spinala. But thankfully we did not hit the wall, and unfortunately that's our lap over. So we're gonna have to change our set of tires. So you can see the front tires, you can see how close they are to overheating. So now heading out the final corner, trying to get as good of an exit as realistically possible. We are 1.5 tenths, just below 1.5 tenths quicker than our previous lap, and that puts us up to P9 ahead of both Alpines. So I'm not sure whether this lap time is enough to get us into Q3, and I think yes, it should be just enough. By a few hundreds of a second, 600ths of a second separate me and elimination from Q2, obviously, because Ocon is 600ths off of our timing. So as you can see here, Carlos Sainz separated by 3 tenths of a second, which shows that the AI got surprisingly slow heading into Q2. But now we are into Q3, we do lock up a little bit. Heading out of the final corner right around now into the exit, we are just below 2 tenths of a second quicker, and I think we are separated by a few hundredths of a second compared to Carlos Sainz. So we'll just see the end results for these Q3.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting the grid. Verstappen, Hamilton, and Sergio Perez. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
Take a look, 8 to 9 tenths behind Carlos Sainz. So you can see, as I'm saying, the AI are getting too fast. They're just getting like maxed out. So I'm really gonna have to lower the AI difficulty if I want to have any chance of getting good results against my teammates. So I guess we're gonna have to play like what, 93 AI in the race, 92 AI. I don't know. I don't care. We'll just see how it goes in the race, and I'll just see you after the introductions, I guess. So stay tuned.
The Spanish Grand Prix has been a permanent fixture on the Formula One calendar for over 30 years now, and for good reason. Do you remember Michael Schumacher's absolute dominance here in that rain-soaked Grand Prix in 1996? That day he took his first ever victory for Ferrari, and we've had many more iconic moments since. The Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya, a track that will certainly force the drivers to push themselves. It consists of a very impressive main straight going into turn 1. It's a straight that also offers a DRS zone, so it's likely to be a hot spot for overtakes. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, You're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn 1, so how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are three main things to worry about there, Crofty: positioning, awareness, and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he starts from pole position. And Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Gasly, Charles Leclerc and Bottas, Sainz, Joe, Norris and the Black Mamba, Ocon, Ricciardo, George Russell and Tsunoda, Giovinazzi, Schwartzman, Jack Aitken and Lance Stroll, Latifi, Ticktum, Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
I don't think I need your constant reminders just to remind me to get into the points every single race, because that's obviously what I am going to do. So the strategy here: the first 6 laps on the softs, the final 11 laps on the medium compound tires. As now here come the 5 red lights for the Spanish Grand Prix, and it's lights out and away we go. We get a bit of a good start. Zhou Guan Yu starts to fall back 2 places, or should I say 1 place here. And Daniel Ricciardo with the McLaren has the straight line speed. The McLaren straight line speed is obviously going to outmatch our draggy Formula 1 car here. Heading into the exit of turn 2, heading to turn 3. Max Verstappen leads Hamilton and Perez going side by side. Sharing second place between each other, heading into the braking zone of turn 4, where the 2 Mercedes of Hamilton and Rosberg crashed in 2016. As we're going to go around the outside of Lando Norris, heading into turn 5, we have the inside, we have the track position, and we should be able to get past him towards the exit of turn 5, and yes we do, as now heading towards the exit of turn 6, now into turn 7, the apex of turn 8, now the exit of turn 8, heading into turn 9. Hopefully we don't get onto the gravel as we will always do, and thankfully we do not. We head onto the red part, which is just on the track limits. Now heading into the braking zone of turn 10, we get a late apex so that we can get more throttle input on the exit of turn 10. Now heading into turn 12, trying to focus on as many late apexes as possible so that we can plant the throttle down as soon as possible, trying to get as many exit speeds as possible, trying to get as many good exit speeds as possible. Now trying to set ourselves up for the exit of the final corner. Max Verstappen setting the fastest opening lap because he did not have any interference nor had dirty air with any other drivers. Now heading towards the lap 3, 2 laps later, still unable to get past Carlos Sainz. We actually lost quite a bit of time there compared to where we were in the first lap of this race. Now heading towards turn 10, you can see Sergio Perez is already 3.6 seconds behind Max Verstappen. I'm not sure if he had I don't know if he had a mechanical issue, but I think he does have an issue if he's going this slow, because I know that Perez wouldn't be going so slow. He would be like 7 tenths or below a second behind Max Verstappen. So he must have had an issue. As now you can see, we go for a huge send down the inside of Carlos Sainz. But we still have DRS, but we do damage his front wing a little bit, but we just have a bit of a chip end plate for Carlos Sainz. But now we have DRS and Bottas. Sainz has DRS on me as well, but he has a slipstream, which is obviously going to increase the overspeed that he has. But now heading into the braking zone of turn 1, thankfully he did not go for a center whatsoever, because obviously he's going to do nothing, but it's going to just ruin our race and just lose more time to the cars ahead and behind us. As you can see, there's a huge scrap for second and third place. As you can see, Hamilton's already past Perez, so now Hamilton can focus on catching up to Verstappen, as Perez is losing a lot of time to Verstappen in every single corner. Hamilton, who's already past Perez here, obviously gonna give his all for the Mercedes, trying to use that medium compound tires as much as possible, trying to catch up and gain time to the Flying Dutchman, still sitting in first, heading towards the exit of turn 10. You saw for a split second there. Now you can see Charles Leclerc with DRS trying to go around the outside. Perez goes defensive down the inside. We're still in 7th place, still ahead of Carlos Sainz here. As now heading towards turn 12, Perez is holding everyone up. He's actually doing us a huge favor here, giving us a greater chance of getting a top 5 finish that we always desired to have. As now you can see, going down the inside of Valtteri Bottas, we do unsettle the car just a little bit out of the final corner. Actually no, this is the final corner now. I don't think we have DRS. Do we have DRS? No, we don't. We are sitting duck here. So the move immediately backfired on us. Bottas goes past us quite comfortably, and Sainz is also going to breeze past us quite comfortably heading into turn 1. I won't give him that much competition fighting for a measly 7th place, because obviously at this point it's just the wooden spoon for the both of us and to the team, so I do not give him that much competition. But now heading towards the braking zone of turn 4, we do hit his rear wing quite a bit there, but no damage so far, which obviously shows that we have a greater advantage on him, as we do hit him once again, but he obviously had to go slower there because there are cars ahead of him. As now we're gonna go around the outside. Actually we can carry the speed into turn 3, and we actually do go around the outside. Carlos Sainz still there, but he backs out. Now heading towards turn 4, we're side by side with Valtteri Bottas. We do bang wheels for a split second there. Now side by side with Perez. Valtteri Bottas goes side by side with the Red Bull. Heading towards turn 5, we are gonna gain a huge advantage if they keep up this battle, but Perez obviously loses out because I think he still has that mechanical issue, probably a fuel issue, probably going onto the leanest mixture that they have because of obviously that mechanical issue. Now heading onto the gravel there, we do hit the gravel there onto the left tires, but we still have DRS, so we would not lose as much time as we thought we would lose. Now trying to focus on late apex, on the late apex, we do close the door on Carlos Sainz a bit there. Carlos Sainz actually tried to go for a move, should have given him the space, but obviously it was too late. And we're actually going to box this lap as well. We're going to box in lap 6 as we planned before the start of the race. And I'm not sure why I went for the send on Sergio Perez. All I did was that I just wasted time, and I lost a lot of time towards the cars behind. And we lost a lot of time to Valtteri Bottas as well, which might affect our pit stop, where it might affect the outcome whether I would get ahead or behind of him if Mercedes go really slow. They have an average pit stop for Valtteri Bottas, but he does get held up quite a bit from Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo. And there goes Norris in his pit box, Ricciardo in his pit box, Leclerc finished with his pit stop. And here we are onto the medium compound tires, and I think Bottas is going to be ahead of us by a few tenths of a second. Yes, he is. So we could have been much closer to the Mercedes had we not gone for the send on the inside of Perez. So obviously all we did was just lose time and hurt our race and hurt our chances of getting past the Mercedes. So now heading towards the end of lap 7, we still have hope of getting a top 5 finish, as now here's the second round of pit stops. Schwartzman, Stroll, Ticktum, Giovinazzi, Russell, Zhou Guanyu, Sainz, Gasly is pitting. Schumacher, I'm not sure if he's pitting. Yeah, Schumacher is pitting onto the medium compound tires, as you can see on the left side of the screen. And the pit lane is actually quite busy at the moment, but we should be comfortably up into the points once again, and we should be ahead of Carlos Sainz by a few seconds, I believe. Yeah, just above 1 second. As you can see, they're going to go side by side with Lando Norris. Who's going to prevail? Lando Norris has the speed and the track position going around the outside, heading into turn 3 for him. And we are also at the exit of turn 3 now, fast forwarding all the way towards the end of lap 8. Daniel Ticktum, Jack Aitken are the only two that's going to pit in lap 8 there. And Ocon and Perez are still staying out, but Ocon has actually gone past Perez, heading into turn 1, as you saw there. Now heading towards turn 1, we are up to 8th place, as you can see. Now Bottas is getting held up by Gasly, who is surprisingly on the hard compound tires. Not so surprising, I would say, because obviously Ferrari keeps screwing up their drivers' pit strategies, which obviously affected their races. And if Bottas stays behind Gasly, or should I say, if Bottas gets held up behind Gasly, or if Gasly defends really well heading down the main straight, then obviously they're going to go side by side, which means that they're going to lose a lot of time, especially through a chicane, which is obviously going to play into our hands here. As you can see, they're going to go side by side heading into turn 1. Bottas and Gasly still fighting towards the exit of turn 2. Now heading towards turn 3. Gasly on the outside, Bottas down the inside, the Ferrari on the offensive, the Mercedes going defensive, heading towards the braking zone of turn 4. As you can see, we are right there in the distance now, heading into turn 4. They're still side by side heading towards turn 5. Bottas thought he could clear Gasly there, but Gasly is still standing strong, trying to go down the inside, trying to defend the position. But Gasly might lose out in this battle. No, he does not. He still has the traction on the exit, still going side by side, heading towards turn 7 and turn 8. But I think Gasly prevails. Yes, he does. He does prevail. Heading out of turn 8, now heading to turn 9. Bottas, I think he has DRS, but he should be too far away from Gasly to do any damage on the Ferrari, if you know what I mean. Now heading towards the end of sector 2, 1.5 tenths We got a good in sector 2, 1.5 tenths faster, as I tried to say there. Now heading towards the final few corners, heading towards the right-hander here. Bottas, I think he was flashing a little bit on that red light, which means he's obviously below 10% ERS, but I don't think they should be using a lot of ERS. So now heading towards the exit of the pit lane. Hamilton just finished his pit stop, I think. Yeah, he switched to softs there, so he got demoted to 4th place, just behind Sergio Perez. As now you can see, Bottas fighting Pierre Gasly once again. We are right into this battle as we do collide with Bottas' right rear tire. Now heading towards turn 3, Pierre Gasly is still standing strong in what you call it, 6th place, which will obviously be net P4 once Ocon and Perez have pitted. But as you can see, this is a huge train. Obviously Bottas trying to find ways to get past Gasly, but all he has to do right now in the technical sections is just trying to keep up the pace with the dirty air as well. So there's going to be a huge mammoth task for the Flying Finn in the Mercedes. So now heading towards turn 7, he does get a bit loose on the exit. We do get quite a bit loose as well. We do make a little bit of a correction now heading towards turn 9. We could have mounted a bit more curb there, as we do get a bit of oversteer. We did unsettle the car there, so obviously we're going to have to make a bit of correction, which means we are going to lose time. Now heading towards the exit of turn 10, Ocon and Perez might be pitting this lap. This might be the last opportunity to pit before they're going to lose a lot of time to the cars behind and maybe to us as well. So now heading towards the chicane here, Gasly still leading from Bottas to me, and there goes Perez and Esteban Ocon. So Gasly should be up to 4th, Bottas should be up to 5th, and I should be up to 6th place. And our teammate not doing so well as we thought he would do. He will be up into net P8 once Ocon and Perez are finished with their pit stop, and he is up to P8, but things still stand here. Gasly still standing strong in 4th place on the slower and less grippier hards, and Bottas obviously on the faster and more grippier mediums, same for us as well. Now Carlos Sainz has his own small DRS train to deal with. As you can see, he's holding up Norris and Ricciardo, but we are getting held up by Bottas and Gasly as we try to go for a cheeky move around the outside. No, we are just too far behind the Flying Finn, as you can see. Now heading into turn 7, towards the apex of turn 7, could have taken a bit more curb to at least gain a bit more time. But now heading towards turn 9 here, we do downshift a little bit, we do lose a bit of time, but I did not want to make the same mistake as I did last lap, which obviously lost me a lot of time. As you can see, we're just above a tenth slower in sector 2. Verstappen sets the fastest lap, a 1 minute 15.0, heading towards turn 12 now. Hamilton is in 2nd, Leclerc is in 3rd, so Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari getting 1 podium spot each for themselves. So it's pretty much back to their old days, like 2018, 2019, like that, when they were fighting quite a lot, but obviously Mercedes prevailed in those few years. As you can see, Bottas might have a chance on Gasly. He's actually going to go down the inside. Gasly is going to have to defend around the outside, which is obviously going to be the inside line towards the end of the chicane, towards the exit of turn 2. Now we are back in this fight. We are now side by side with Valtteri Bottas, who's going to prevail in this fight towards the exit of turn 3. We're going to go around the outside very comfortably, just like how we did against Carlos Sainz before the first round of pit stops. And heading into the exit of turn 4, we are ahead of Valtteri Bottas. Bottas tried to go for a move around the outside, but we managed to cover it. We managed to cover it pretty well. Yeah, let's just go for that. Now heading towards the exit of turn 10, still behind Gasly towards turn 12 in the apex here. Trying to get the late apex here, trying to use the bollard as our small guide, trying to get the throttle down as soon as possible. Now heading into the complex chicane, the very technical chicane, trying to get ourselves a really good exit. Now crossing the line for the 15th lap of the race. Bottas has DRS, I have DRS, I have the better overspeed on Pierre Gasly, and we should be able to go past him quite comfortably. We are now side by side heading towards the braking zone of turn 1. We managed to clear him just before the braking zone, and now we are up to 4th place. And now all we have to do for the next few laps is just to hold up Pierre Gasly and Valtteri Bottas, which is obviously going to be a mammoth task because I'm going to be leading the DRS train, and I'm obviously going to be a sitting duck heading towards the final lap if Gasly manages to go past me. As you can see, Verstappen sets the fastest lap again by a tenth there, and now Gasly is holding up Valtteri Bottas. I'm holding up Gasly. We are separated by a few tenths each. Now heading towards the final few corners. Gasly trying to gain as much time as possible. I'm trying to gain as much time as possible, but we do make the car a bit loose. We did unsettle the car there at the chicane exit. As you can see, Gasly is going to have DRS on us heading towards the final lap. This battle could last towards the end of the race. Gasly might go past me. We're going to have to go defensive here. He does pass me. We're now side by side heading towards turn 1. He clears me just before the braking zone, like how I did against him back in lap 15. So obviously things not going so well for me, but if we get a top 5 finish, obviously I'm really happy. But obviously I want to get as many points as possible, so I'm still gonna aim for that sweet 4th place. And but we can't worry about that too much, because we have to worry about Valtteri Bottas, who's right behind our tail there, heading towards turn 5. Gasly is still standing strong in 4th. I'm not sure if we are able to catch up to Gasly, because we're running out of sectors, running out of corners, and running out of road, running out of time as well to catch up to Pierre Gasly to get 4th place. At this point, Max Verstappen has already won the race, so good job to the Flying Dutchman. Hamilton taking 2nd and Charles Leclerc taking 3rd. Gasly is already 9.1 seconds behind his Ferrari teammate, so the podium positions are already fixed. So now it's just the battle for 4th place. I don't think we're gonna get Pierre Gasly at this stage. Oh no, heading into the final few corners. We're running out of corners. 3 corners to go into the final chicane, trying to set up as good of an exit as possible. Oh my god, I think we just missed out on P4, but hey, at least we get top 5, and that's 10 points for us in this Grand Prix.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
Another Spanish Grand Prix is over, and what a special race it was. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. There's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves.
Max Verstappen with another win for Red Bull, and Hamilton back where he belongs on the podium. Hopefully he can continue this incredible form and incredible comeback to the top, and hopefully he might be able to challenge Verstappen again for the championship, might be able to challenge the reigning champion for the champion title, obviously. So now looking at the driver standings, we are now up to 4th place. Carlos Sainz demoted all the way down to 9th place, and we're demoted all the way back to 4th place in the Constructors' Championship. So we could have got a bit of points, but Carlos Sainz probably could have driven a bit harder, a bit faster, but probably he had too big of a gap to make up for when we were fighting Bottas, Gasly, and a few others. But obviously he did his best, and hopefully we can get better results in the future. And unfortunately, that is the end of today's video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and turn notifications in order not to miss any future uploads. Hopefully I'll be able to do any F1 content next week, and hopefully stay tuned for the next few videos. Maybe I might do F1 22 content, and this might be the last episode of my Team Career Mode. Anyway, goodbye.